What's up, everybody? Hey, thanks for joining me for the Pillars of Action. Action. Thanks for joining me. I'm the Everyday Dad, and I'm just darn excited to get started with this. You will notice that I'm a solo crew tonight. The Everyday Mom is in the house, but I spent all day setting up this new space, but I didn't have like a way to set it up for everybody. So, by everybody, I mean me and the Everyday Mom. So, she will be joining us in the chat below. But, hey, welcome to everybody. I've seen a whole bunch of people. I see Jonathan De La Zerta, Jaren XS Productions, Joe Moreno, Kenneth Duke, $2 for the awesome intro music. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Lukey, Average Geeky, Queen Awesome Gaming's here. I saw Photo Gear Fun is in here. Clayton Michael, Kenneth Duke, Jonathan, and Christina Maxwell. Peter Carroll, the coach of... Thanks, coach of... What is it? Peter Carroll. Who are you the coach of? I'm terrible at this. The USC. He's the coach of the Seahawks now. Thanks for joining us, Pete Carroll. We appreciate it. What's up, everybody? Jim, I see it. I'm saving you from catching up on long overdue editing. Well, if I'm here to help you procrastinate, so much the better. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Super excited to talk about some camera stuff today. If you follow like camera news at all, like somebody that's not totally crazy and doesn't just follow camera stuff all the time like some of us. Oh, that would definitely be me. So Photokina is currently happening, or it may have ended. It was this week. $2 from Emilio Takas. Happy to finally catch it online from the start. Well, thanks so much, Emilio. I really appreciate it. Ooh, and we've got the good stuff this week. The Everyday Dad live stream, unofficially brought to you by Coke Cherry Zero. Delicious. Oh, and you guys will have to tell me. So this is the new setup. You guys are the first ones to see it. The first ones to see the new setup. So this is going to be where we do our narrative work from now on. So let me know if you guys actually like this, because I spent all day setting this up. So we normally would look this way, and it's the same office. We would normally look this way. Now we're looking, well, the way you're looking. But so I bought this new light that takes up legitimately like almost all of the room. So I had to move everything around, but I think it's worth it. We'll be going from here. So let's talk about the Panasonic S1. I'm disappointed. There, I said it. I said it. And that disappoints me so much. Hold on. One of the nice things about being over here is I can click on stuff. So let's talk about the Panasonic S1. So the Panasonic S1 has a new, what they're calling the L mount, which is a full frame mount in combination with Panasonic, Sigma, and Leica. So they all make full frame, or they will start making this full frame mount. It seems cool. I like the idea of those three companies coming together to make a full frame mount. I actually think they're my three favorite lens manufacturers, period. Sony does fantastic lenses too, but these are three lens companies are my favorite. But the S1 series is kind of meh. And that sucks because I've been looking forward to the S series. Well, before we knew it was the S series, they were like, "Hey, we're going to release a full frame camera." I had been hot on the heels of me using the A7 III, and I was like, "Man, a full frame Panasonic camera with as much as I love Panasonic cameras, I got to get me some of that." However, the S1 in my book, so it's missing a few things. So let's talk about Panasonic cameras. What's good about a Panasonic camera? Panasonic generally throws everything they have into a camera at whatever price point it is. They're not a company that generally holds stuff back like Canon. Canon is notorious for, here, I've got a Canon camera here. Where Canon is notorious for holding features back because they want you to buy their cinema cameras. So they don't put this is the M100. It's not like a top of the line camera, but they put all of their tech, like they save it for higher cinema cameras, which sucks because I like the form factor of these DSLR style cameras. They're small, they're compact, you can take them anywhere. And Panasonic generally throws everything they have into one. Like the GH5 that we're streaming on right now has legitimate pro level features. And it is one of, you can get one of these for dirt cheap. I got this one used for like $1,300, which is, for the features you get out of it, that is crazy. Hey, Lukey, hey, just a heads up, man. We don't, you're going to get put in timeout because we don't do sub for sub here. So you've been put in timeout for that. I'm not going to ban you yet. But so back on topic. The S1... I don't know. I mean, we got to wait until we hear some more specific features about what will be in it, what won't be in it. All we kind of know is like some broad overview. So like it says here that you can see it's going to do 4K 60 frames per second. Whoopity doo. I mean, they're saying that this is going to be roughly a $3,000 camera. So 4K 60, the GH5 can do that. That's not it can do that forever at $1,300. The Fujifilm X-T3, which is the sleeper hit of my like, oh my goodness, this camera's amazing. That can do 4K 60. So 4K 60 that's not a big deal anymore. Like, it's not. It has a double slot for XQD and SD cards, which is cool. I mean, I think you'll be able to do more data rates with an XQD as opposed to SD. I like how cheap SD cards can be, but like, they're continuing with their depth from defocus autofocusing system. So hold on, let's go back to my face so you can see my disappointment on that. So I'm like, hey, Panasonic's releasing a new camera. It's like, it's going to be 2019. You know, the king of the hill right now is phase detection autofocus. They've got to be able to do it. It's just going to be so great. And then they're going to do depth from defocus autofocusing system. Boo. Boo. Like, come on, Panasonic. Like, I get it. You guys, like, want... So, here's Panasonic's rationale, at least in my mind. I assume that phase detection autofocus, because you put the autofocus detection on the sensor itself, maybe that gives you, like, some, moire, or some problems with aliasing. It gives you, like, a little bit less of a technical image quality, and for pro-level filmmakers, sure, that's probably really important. But for online content producers... That doesn't, technical image quality does not, like, who cares? Like, who cares if I lose, like, a little bit? Like, YouTube's compression is going to destroy it anyway. And you guys could be live streaming. You could be watching this live stream from, like, the bathroom. Like, nobody cares about technical image quality. And so it like, broke my heart when I heard that they were using depth from defocus again. Like, that, like, right here. Like, right, it hurts, like, all up in right here. Like, painful. Like, ugh. Like, I cannot overstate how much I was disappointed in that. But then, I use the GH5. I love the GH5. It also has depth from defocus autofocus, which, is probably the one flaw of the GH5. But it has an articulating screen to kind of make up for that. It has the awesome phone app, so I can work around. It's not a big deal. Then I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's go back over here. Does it say it over here? So we go back over here, and we're talking about what features are. We have what features. It may not have it over here, but when I'm like, okay, at least it's going to have that flip out screen because Panasonic has flip out screens. What does it have? Hold on, let's get back to my face. What does it have? It has a 3-axis tiltable screen like this. Like this, like a 3-axis tiltable screen. Not a fully articulating screen. So it's basically like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here with they broke my heart. Like, Panasonic definitely broke my heart. Like who cares? Like, I wanted to like this. I want to like the Panasonic S1 series so much. But like, if they're gonna charge $3,000 for the low end one, $3,000 for the camera, it's gonna be at least $1,000 for a lens. You're looking at $4,000 right there. Like, at that point, you might as well invest a little more and get a Sony FS5. You might as well get an FS5, then you get I don't think it's phase detection autofocus, but either way, you're going to have bad autofocus, but you're going to have pro-level XLR inputs. You're going to have, variable ND built in. You're going to have a lot more pro features than the S1. Like, I'm so disappointed. Like, I think they said photography like 100 times during that keynote presentation, and they said video. They're like, 4K 60. I kind of feel like Panasonic they're sleeping on their video advantage. So like, Panasonic right now is like, you want a video camera, you go Panasonic because they have so many great video features. And I feel like they're sleeping on it a bit, or they're trying to capture like the photography side of things. And look, I love photographers too, but I'm a video guy myself. And sorry, I need some more caffeine after that depressing, like that shock to the heart. Like, they shocked me in my heart. Oh. But it's just the contrast-based autofocus and the contrast-based autofocus and the no flip screen. Like, so now I'm not, at least if I'm using the A7 III and I'm in front of it, I know it will have me in focus. If I'm in front of the XT3, I know the eye autofocus will get me in. So long as I'm in front of the camera and the camera can see me, I will be in focus. I'm okay with that in some situations. I used the A7 III for a long time for a very long time before like even getting a monitor, and it didn't bother me that much. Like if I'm in front of it, I will be in focus. That works for me. Like I would rather you either need a flip out screen or good autofocus to have an online camera, because either way then you could correct yourself. You can see if you're in focus or not. I'm looking at the screen right now even though it's not showing anything. You can look at the screen and see if you're in focus or what your framing is, or you can just trust that you're in focus because it's going to be great. This has neither. This has neither good autofocus or a flip out screen. So I don't know. I probably won't get it, which that I was 100% on board with. If Panasonic would have just released it without telling us anything about it, I probably would have just pre-ordered it just to pre-order it because I trust Panasonic. But that, I don't know. Panasonic, if you're watching, I don't know. Like, you guys broke my heart. You broke my heart. I'll continue to use my GH5. The GH5 is still one of the best cameras ever made. And so that's what I really think is the winner in all of this discussion, which is why it's part of the title here, is I think this means the GH5 is actually the GH5 comes out of this way better, because why spend 2.5 times the amount of money of the GH5 to get the S1? Like, I guess if your whole thing is you need that full frame sensor, I would get what I'm most excited. The full frame camera that I am most excited about is the Nikon Z6. It's got a great touchscreen. Well, I haven't used it, but it looks like it has a great touchscreen, decent autofocus, pretty good lenses that are not huge, and Nikon's more of a lens company than a camera body company. Excuse me. 10-bit, through HDMI. I am more excited about the Nikon Z6 than I am about the Panasonic. I'm more excited about a Nikon camera than a Panasonic camera. I need that. But like, what is going on in the world today that I'm more excited about a Nikon camera than a Panasonic camera? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on in the universe of today. But, But so, I saw somebody ask, who said, what's my favorite camera here? Hold on, who asked me? Emilio Takis. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this. If you guys have any questions, just shoot them to @TheEverydayDad. You have to do the @TheEverydayDad so I can see the orange. I don't have the Everyday Mom is checking chat because she's obviously chatting there. Hey, babe. But she's not up here with me to help me to monitor the chat. So if you have a question for me, you can always shoot me an @TheEverydayDad so I can see it. Here's a big thing I want to announce. So, see these green chairs that are gross and disgusting? I'm thinking about getting rid of it. So, what do you guys think? So I was thinking about doing like hey, we'll do a super chat off to get rid of these chairs. So when we hit a certain number, we'll just get rid of the chairs. We'll get like a love seat so that the everyday wife and I can sit next to each other instead of sitting on these amazing chairs that my wife thankfully has here for us. But so I'm thinking about doing that. So let me know what you guys think. It's kind of been like this funny thing about the community. I could just go out and buy a couch, but I think it would be like a fun, like maybe we vote on it, or like we have like a competition of like keep the chairs against the chairs. I don't know. We'll think of something cool to do, because I think it would be fun to get everybody involved with it instead of just like going out and getting a couch. Like that's boring. Whereas these chairs are like part of the experience here, where they're like, oh, yeah. And if you really want your comment to go straight to the top of the charts, you can always send a super chat. All super chats are appreciated. And we will go from there. So Emilio Takis, what do you say about the firmware they say will be released in October? Again, that's something else that I like about Panasonic is they continue to support their cameras. The GH5 has had like 4 major firmware updates, 4 or 5 major firmware updates. I think I'm on 2.4 right now in camera. So they support their cameras, which is great. Like, I still like Panasonic. Just because I don't like their full frame thing. Like, I still really like them as a company. I think they make fantastic products. I just don't like this series of product that they will. Well, I don't even know. I'm disappointed with the specs they've given us so far onto this line of products. But I'm excited. There's no way to polish the turd of contrast-based autofocus, though. The way that it finds its focus in continuous autofocus is it has to go a little bit further to see what's out of focus, come back in to see what you want in focus. There's no way to fix that. I listened to, Cinema 5D. It's a YouTube channel. They had an interview with one of the Panasonic reps at Photokina, where what they're trying to fix with the new firmware update is if you are like trying to focus on something and you've had a problem with it focusing in the background instead of on the subject, they're trying to like stop that from happening. And I've never really had that problem, and that's not even the problem for me. I think the focus system is fine with gaining, I think it's decent enough right now to get focus on a subject. The problem I have with contrast-based autofocus, and Panasonic's really the only ones that just like won't get on board with phase detection, is you'll see like, we're not in continuous autofocus right now, by the way. We're in full manual, and I've pulled focus with the phone app. But you'll see in the background, like it'll warp in and out. And, maybe if you're in a setting like this, that isn't such a big deal because you can't really tell. But if you're like outside, or if you've got a really shallow, or I mean, as shallow as you can get with micro four thirds, but the shallower the depth of field, the more you're going to see that hunting because it's going to be more and more obvious. So, I mean, I'll download it, install it. I mean, I like what Panasonic does. They update and they keep their cameras fresh and current. Even people that have old cameras still get updates, which is great. But I mean, I just like the autofocus is not great. A Family 5, does anyone here have the GH5S? I've considered getting a GH5S just for a couple of reasons. One, I've seen the image quality straight out of it. It looks very, very nice. I like how the GH5 looks. It is a little, hold on, it's a little dark in here. I like how the GH5 looks. Is that better? We'll go to 30%. I like how the GH5 looks perfectly well, but I've heard the GH5S and I've seen images of it where it looks really, really good. Whoa, $10. Dennis Lovelady for the Everyday Wife's Defense Fund. Well, thanks so much. Well, she's gonna need all the support she can get because I have a feeling that people will want the chairs gone. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the GH5S. So I've considered getting the GH5S. It's got 240 frames per second and 1080p, which that would be a huge deal for me because I like doing my B-roll in as fast as possible. I currently do it in 180 frames per second with the GH5. The problem you're going to run into with the GH5S is that this thing exists now. Oh, it's on. Wow, I just killed the battery in that. The Fujifilm X-T3 now exists, which does a lot of the same thing as like the GH5 and the GH5S, but it has fantastic autofocus and it's an APS-C sensor. You can adapt most of the same things to this as you can to the GH5 cameras. So I don't know, like, would it be worth getting the GH5S? Because the GH5S doesn't have stabilization. Neither does the X-T3. Would it be worth getting the GH5S over the X-T3? I don't know. I've never used the GH5S. I know that the professionals like the GH5S a little more. It's got, more pro features than like even the GH5. But I'll tell you. Okay, so you got me on a quick detour. I'm blown away by this darn camera. The X-T3 has shocked me. For how good it is. Like I mean, so B&H, they send, I ask B&H, I'm like, hey, can you guys send me this camera for me to check out? And then I send it back and, that's cool. And I was like, well, the X-T3 is coming out. It's probably the one that I can get my hand on easiest. The Canon's too much. Like it's over like my cap that I can go with B&H. The Nikon's not out yet. I'll try to get the Nikon through that too. But starting to use this thing, I love this camera. Like this, the X-T3 is one of the most shocking cameras I've ever used in my life for how good it is. It is expensive. It's pricey. I mean, it's $1,500 without the kit lens. With the kit lens, that is fantastic. It's $1,800. That's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it is worth what you pay. But darn, it is good. I think this is better than the A7. If you're going to be making online content, I think the X-T3 is better than the A7 III. I said that in the video that was released yesterday. I got a lot of angry comments about that too, but full frame, just because it's full frame doesn't necessarily mean it's better. I mean, there's this thing, and look, we've mentioned this before. I've fallen into this trap too, where when you start making, videos and you start getting becoming a camera nerd, you have this habit of wanting to be as wide as possible and to have as shallow depth of field as possible. And full frame goes a long way to doing that. But do you really need that? No, you don't really need that. Having a deeper depth of field is fine, and even APS-C I think is darn good. Like APS-C is my favorite sensor size. If I could get a GH5 with an APS-C sensor, game over. Which this kind of is that. This is kind of a GH5 with an APS-C sensor. So my original plan was, I bought the GH5. I'm selling the A7 III either way. The A7 III is being sold next week, no matter what. The A7 III is not even part of this conversation anymore. But I wasn't expecting to like the X-T3 as much as I do. Like, I'm having a very strong like fight with myself on which camera am I going to end up keeping. So I like the autofocus of the X-T3 a lot. I like the Eterna profile a lot. I like the APS-C sensor a lot, but it doesn't have stabilization and it doesn't have the 180 frames per second. And I use both of those a lot to do my B-roll, and B-roll is more important to me than this narrative talking head stuff. So a camera that can legitimately get B-roll right, like the GH5, that's hard to top. And this, I don't know, but I effing love the X-T3. Okay, I'm sorry. I know there's other questions. What other questions do we have? Joe Moreno, can I live stream with the OBS on the G80? Absolutely. Like, I'm live stream with the GH5 right now. You can live stream with any camera. You just have to get an adapter. Like, so I use it plugged into my iMac over here is the Elgato Cam Link. You just get a do I have one over here? Like this space is a mess right now because I tore it all apart to set this up just for like right now. And I got to clean everything up. But you just take a micro HDMI to HDMI cable, plug it into the Elgato, and then your computer can read the signal, and you can live stream off of that. It works amazingly well. It works amazingly well. More footage of the everyday mom. Jonathan Maxwell, $2. Save the chairs. Wow, so many people want the chairs. So many people. I'm surprised at how many people want to save the chairs. Yeah, Lloyd Mendenhall. Hey, happy birthday, man. Seriously. Happy birthday to Lloyd Mendenhall. And thanks to Jim Hightower, big thumbs up to Help at Home Jim Hightower. He went together and he reached out to me, reached out to a lot of creators to create like a happy birthday video to Lloyd. And that's pretty cool. And I saw you got some pretty big names out there in the community. So that's pretty cool. So thumbs up to Lloyd for happy birthday, and thumbs up to Jim for making a video for Lloyd for his birthday. That is awesome. Everyday Dad, you're the best. Well, thanks so much, Macias. I really appreciate it. Lloyd Mendenhall, isn't Sony the one that always disappoints you? No, Sony. I never really have a problem with Sony. I love the A7 III. The A7 III is also a fantastic camera that I've been using for months now. Like, the three cameras I've used the most are the Lumix G7, the Sony A6300, and the Sony A7 III. Those are the three cameras I've used the most. The GH5 will come up there here real quick because the more I use it, the more I love the GH5. I don't know. The only thing I've really been disappointed about with Sony, what have I been disappointed about with Sony? Because Sony makes them, they're on top of the game right now for full frame. As far as I'm concerned, they own the hill of full frame cameras, full frame mirrorless cameras. Everybody's trying to chase them. And they're doing it with cameras that don't really compete, which I don't really understand. So, hey, there's these people that do everything better and cheaper than all of us. Let's make cameras that are like as good, but we're going to charge more for them. You can't lose your spot on the mirrorless camera lineup if you don't release any good mirrorless cameras that people want to buy, right? That's a meme right there. But yeah, no, Sony never really disappoints me. The sound seems a little low here. I'll bump up the audio a little bit. Hold on, let's bump it up. We gotta be careful. We'll do it just a scooch. We did it just a scooch. Jonathan De La Zerda, I just got a Canon 77D earlier this year. That's awesome. I hope you enjoyed. Like I have not and here's the thing. Like, people get very polarized about their camera choices. Like, you gotta pick this brand as the best. You Canon for life, Sony. If you're not using Sony, you're wrong. But the great thing about right now is that every camera manufacturer makes a good camera. There's not a lot of just like legitimately bad cameras out there. Even older cameras, even budget cameras are they're so good. Like the G7. Like, the whole reason I bought this so true story. Using the A7 III forever. I've dabbled with the GH5. This is actually my fourth GH5 because I buy them. I'm like, man, I don't really like it. It's okay, but whatever. Then I made that Lumix G7 series of videos, and I was blown away by how darn good the 4K coming out of the G7 was. Like, I was like, oh my good, I forgot how good Micro Four Thirds can be. And then I started thinking, what do I really need in a camera? Do I need, like, because I was running 3 cameras at one point just to get all the footage I wanted. Like, I had the A7 III, the A5100, which is right there, and I had the Sony RX100 5 Alpha, and I was doing all these things. I was like, do I need all that? The GH5 really has everything I want, and look how great the image quality looks. So the Lumix G7 100% is the reason why I bought another GH5, and why I will stick with the GH5 until something better comes out, which I haven't seen really yet, barring the XT3. But yeah, so there's no bad choice right now, which is great. I mean, it's great that we all have that there's just abundance of choice. Like, I would rather have so many awesome choices than like be stuck with one specific choice. So there's no king of the hill in cameras. There's just a lot of people that, I don't know, like even my comments, like I could show you some comments. I've banned, like, there were 3 people that got banned today for my I haven't banned a person for my comments in months, but 3 people got banned today because of the my XT3 versus A7 III video is doing very well for itself. And when videos do very well for themselves, that means like people outside of your community are seeing it, and a bunch of horses hind ends were making comments. So my comment section is not a democracy, because I like having I would rather have a positive, like people feel like they can talk to people mentality about my comments, other than people being argumentative and being jerks. So the iron fist of the ban hammer had to come down on a few people today. Yeah, the Lumix G7 is awesome. Wonder Wife is talking in the chat, I see. What do we got? Photo Gear Fun, I have both, and the G85 with the 12 to 60 lens is amazing. Yeah, the dual IS on the Panasonic cameras is amazing. And then, so I don't know if they do it on the G85. Let me know if they do it on the G85. But like on the GH5, there's a thing called IS lock, where it, like, you put it in IS lock mode and you just hold it, and it looks like it's on a tripod. Like, and then you can do like pans and tilts handheld, and it looks like you're doing all that with a fluid head tripod from the camera. Like, it is amazing. So let's talk about the Photokina thing that I am most excited about, and that most excited me about Panasonic. Let's see if it's, hold on, let's see if it's over here. It's the new lens. It's the what is it? The 12 to 30? Was it the 12? Hold on, where's the lens? But Panasonic's releasing a new Micro Four Thirds lens that, holy cow! Oh, here it is. Here it is. Hold on, let's go over to this so you guys can. They don't have a picture of it, but they have it here on the. So it is the Summa Lumix 12 or 10 to 25 f1.7. Like, that will be my lens. Like, that will be the lens that lives on this camera as soon as it comes out. I don't care how much it costs. And it's probably going to be expensive. But that's like a whole bunch of prime lenses, fast prime lenses for the GH5. I am so excited for that darn lens. Like, that lens by itself, that's the thing that Panasonic did that most excited me about about Photokina. The camera, whatever. We talked about how I'm kind of like meh about the S1. But that, like, because right now I've got the 12 to 35 2.8, which I think is perfectly fine. It looks great. It does enough of a shallow. It's got shallow enough for me. But being able to do that with a 1.7 zoom lens, here's me happy throwing my hat this time. I threw my hat angry earlier. That's my hat being thrown happily this time. I am very excited for that lens. I will pre-order the crap out of that lens. Techno Minute, is the G85 worth the upgrade from the G7? It depends. So the only real difference between the G7 and the G85 is the G85 is weather sealed. So if you are going to be doing a lot of like video or photography in the rain, make sure you have weather sealed lenses too, because not all the lenses are weather sealed. It's weather sealed and it has stabilization. If you need the good stabilization, you need a weather sealed camera, get the G85. It doesn't offer any significant upgrade other than that of the G7. I had both at one point, and I ended up getting rid of the G85 to keep the G7 because it wasn't that big of an upgrade. It wasn't that bit. Yeah, Jonathan Maxwell. I live to tag the banhammer. Jonathan Maxwell is henceforth known as the banhammer. That's what Jonathan. That's your new name. And does the G85 autofocus better than the G7? No, it doesn't. The Panasonic. The problem with Panasonic is their autofocus. Like, Panasonic, everything about Panasonic is great, except the autofocus. Like, I just don't understand why they won't. Maybe it's like a stubbornness. Maybe they're just being stubborn. But like, everything about Panasonic cameras they're the best. Like, except for autofocus. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Techno Minute, what's the budget upgrade from the G7? Like, if you are going to like upgrade from the G7, what's your next stop? I don't know. It depends. Are you going to stay Micro Four Thirds? Are you going to branch out to another system? if I had the G today, so I went like this whole meandering route of don't follow me in what I did with the cameras because I wasted a lot of money on cameras. If I was going to go from the G7 to something else, I would, I don't know, because really the next logical upgrade is like the GH4, which you can get for a very reasonable price right now. It has a bit of a, I don't know, does it have a bigger crop than the G7? But does the GH4, I think the GH4 does internal 4K, right? I think that you should save up and get a G, if you're going to stay Micro Four Thirds, the GH5 is not that, I mean, it's expensive, but it's not that expensive, and it will only get cheaper. So I would wait until maybe like Black Friday and see if there's some good deals, and the GH5 is just stupidly good. Stupidly good. Somebody asked, why am I leaving Sony? The reason I'm leaving Sony is, and hold on, I'll get it. Okay, hold on, I'll get to that. Weather sealed stabilization, yep. Jable Maximus, what camera would you recommend for a YouTube channel like yours and a blog camera and lens? It depends on what your budget is. If you're looking under $500, which I've got a series going on right now of amazing cameras under $500. If you want amazing image quality, flip out screen, and 4K, the G7 is the only option. If you want amazing autofocus, you're fine with 1080p, and you want a DSLR, you're fine with a DSLR. The SL2 is great. If you want under $500, great autofocus, flip up screen, and you'll have to record audio off camera, which is not terrible. Most editing programs automatically do that. Either the M100 right here or the A5100 right here are both really great. There's not really a bad option. It's just what are your requirements, and then that kind of builds what camera you can get, what camera you should look into. Yes, I thought it was great. What's the budget from the G7? I saw a new Fuji X-T3 versus the Blackmagic 4K Pocket Cinema. Oh, that's a tough one. Now, I haven't used the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. That's one of the cameras on my to-do list, something that I'm very excited about, but I'm getting less and less excited about it as time goes on. I think it's going to be awesome because it's got CFast card slot, it's got SD card slot, it's got XLR port. It's got that huge touchscreen. It just depends on how good does the app work, because if I can pull focus with the app, that would be good enough. I think it'll be pretty good. But the problem with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K versus the GH5S, it's way cheaper, which is good. Maybe $1,000 cheaper. But it doesn't have the slow motion capabilities. Yeah, it does RAW, but I don't have the time for RAW. I'm excited to try it out. I don't have a solid opinion on it because I haven't used it yet. But the X-T3, I am shocked at how much I like the X-T3. I didn't think that there was a camera on the horizon that was going to pull me away from this GH5. Even the A7S3, okay, what are they going to do? They're going to it's basically going to be a Panasonic S1 with better autofocus. Okay, I'm not going to use any of those super pro level features. Just it's going to be like an A7 III, but with more features that I'm not going to be able to use. I do quick turnarounds with video, so I need certain things like awesome image out of camera. Like I said, the reason I use the GH5 is it is the ultimate B-roll camera. That might be a good video to make, the GH5, the ultimate B-roll camera. So there's nothing really to pull me. There's nothing on the horizon to pull me away from the GH5 except this darn X-T3. I love this stupid camera. I have been going back and forth. Some days I'm okay, let's just sell the GH5 and just burn the boats like Cortez and not have any options. And other days I'm no, we're just going to return it. We're going to give it back to B&H and we're never going to think about it again. But darn, I love this. I love this camera. Things like this door coming off, that is so useful. And it's little quality of life features like that. The image quality, I found a setting, I found the settings that I like for the image that looks so good. The kit lens is one of the best kit lenses I've ever used. The touchscreen, whatever, the touchscreens is all right. But I love this, I almost cursed again. I love this darn camera, and that would be the camera that I would leave the GH5 for, but I'm probably not going to get rid of the GH5 as much as I want to. As much as I don't want to get rid of the GH5, but I really like that. Real pros don't use autofocus. I know I get told in the comments a lot. Good thing I am not a real pro. That's what I say a lot. People are like, real pros don't use autofocus. I'm like, good thing I'm not a professional, so I'll use it all the darn time. I actually think I told somebody I was a scrub today because of that. Re-review, shout out to you, buddy. Joe Miranda, it's not just point and shoot, but if you play with autofocus settings, it's workable. I mean, like I said, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's great for stills. I think they have their depth from defocus is like, it's lightning fast for stills. I mean, it's one of the fastest out there for stills, but for video, yes, it will lock onto a subject like I mentioned, but I still have problems with hunting no matter what I do with it. Techno Minute, would I go for the GH5 over a super good deal on the GH4? I mean, I don't know. I just love the GH5. Like, I've never used the GH4. I can't really speak to it. But I don't think the GH4 has stabilization. I don't think the GH4 has the super slow motion. Those are things that are important for me. They may not be important for you. If, like I said, it's easy to find the camera that's right for you because cameras are very specifically niched anymore. So you got to figure out what your requirements are, and then it's like, oh, it's this camera. I at least need 120 frames per second. Makia77, I'm currently using the GH5. The GH5. I don't know that I'd agree that the Panasonic autofocus would ever be comparable to Canon. Because, I mean, it's just not. Oh, there we go. Casper, why am I leaving Sony? Well, I'm not leaving Sony. Like, if Sony announces an APS-C camera with a flip screen and does the same thing as the X-T3, I'll be hard-pressed to not go away from it. I'm going away from full-frame cameras just because, so I really like the A7 III. It's a beautiful, wonderful camera that I still love using. It's not a bad camera in the slightest. But it's like the things that I need to get this to work, they're just too big. They're too heavy. The touchscreen on this thing, it does focus, but that's about it. The battery life is awesome. Like, the thing that I will miss the most is the battery life. Like, the GH5 now lives with the battery life grip on it because I'm so used to the Z-type battery on this thing. But I just, like, it's just full frame. Like, I have no desire for full frame. Like, everybody seems to, like, all the video, like, all the channels and all the video people are like, you got to be full frame or you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, well, you know what? I don't really care about full frame. Hold on, let me send out another tweet. Still going strong. I don't really care about full frame. Like, because with how heavy the lenses are heavy. I don't like carrying that stuff around. I like small gear. I like small kit. Full frame is great for certain things, but I'm always like, I've got this huge light here now. I'm always lighting stuff. I never go above ISO 800, so I don't really need a full frame camera. Other people do, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine, but like, I hate the A6500. The A6500 is one of my least favorite cameras I have ever used, so I can't go to that. The A6300 is okay, but after like using the A6300 for months, and I feel like it looks like I'm punched in the face. Like, it gives me this weird like hue to my skin and makes me look like I have very deep wells in my eyes. I'm just like, that's not me. Like, I can't get into the A6300 anymore. So where do you go from there? Like, Fuji, I mean the Fuji X-T3. What else is there out there besides like Olympus? I guess Olympus makes pretty good cameras. I would like to try out an Olympus camera. Maybe there's some things on the horizon that I very much want to check out. I've never used an Olympus camera, and I've heard that which one is it? The Olympus has some stabilization that's better than the Panasonic. Photo gear phone. Why do I hate the A6500? Let's talk about the A6500. The screen is unusable outdoors. If you're trying to film outdoors, you can't even use the screen. The slow motion is eh. The autofocus is great, and I love those Sigma lenses for Sony. I love those Sigma lenses, but like, it's still, I don't know. I just did not like the A6500 I really did, and I love the A6300, but I tried the A6500 out for a few weeks, and I hated it. It was just, we talk about fiddliness, right? Well, when it takes so much, it was not worth the hassle. I really, really did not like it at all. Rear view, do I prefer full frame or 2/3? What's 2/3? Do you mean APS-C or like micro four thirds? My favorite sensor size, if I could create the perfect camera, it would basically be a Lumix GH5 with an APS-C sensor and phase detection autofocus. APS-C is my favorite, and phase detection is my favorite. So that would be my favorite camera of all time. Try the Sony A9, yeah, but what would the Sony A9 get me? Like the Sony A9 is like it is a like a sports photographer camera. It's like to do like very fast. Like I think it does 4K 30, but it's not gonna like buy you anything on the video side over the A7 III. What's up, Travis? Hey, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I just set this up today, so you gotta let me know if you like it. So I bought this brand new light that I was talking about a little bit ago, and it was so big I had to switch everything up. So I went to IKEA today to like change up how everything looks. So this is the new setting. But yeah, like the I don't know. The 1-inch sensor Sony cameras are pretty good too. Like the RX100 5 and 5 Alpha are great. The RX100 6 it's amazing. I don't know that I would hold on to it for the price. If you were just gonna have one camera and you needed like a long zoom, the 6 is amazing. But it was just too expensive for what I needed. I used mine indoors with the Sigma 16. Oh yeah, the Sigma, the A63. I had an A6300 with a Sigma 16 millimeter lens. It looks so good. It is one of the that might be one of the best lenses on the market today. I would love, and that would be great if Fuji had an equivalent. Like Fuji has a 60 millimeter 1.4, but it's $1,000. If they had a Sigma like for $400, I would have a much harder time choosing between them, because that Sigma 60 millimeter lens is one of the best lenses. Like I loved that lens. I'm currently using the Panasonic GH5 right now, one of my favorite cameras of all time. Technominute OMD EM1 Mark II is a crazy good camera. Yeah, I need to try out Olympus. They're the brand that I haven't tried yet. I don't think I've ever used an Olympus camera. So let's talk about like what's coming up on the channel in the next couple of weeks. So this week, we'll be talking about some budget cameras again. I have two more budget cameras to go, but I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the Canon M100 on Monday. We're gonna compare the M100 versus the A5100 on Wednesday. And then on Friday, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to keep with the schedule. The schedule would be, what's the best camera you can get for like YouTube under $500? And that would be comparing the G7, the A5100, the SL2, and the M100. Those would be like the four ones that I've used so far that are really good and I would recommend to somebody. But then I've also got a brand new camera sitting down here called the Nikon D3500, which is Nikon's new under $500 camera, but I haven't had a chance to use it as much. I'm not ready to make statements about it. It's just been sitting in a box here. And then the next week, we've got the GoPro Hero 7 Black. I just got shipping notification on it today. It'll be here Tuesday, but that's too late to change my production schedule for the week. So we'll play around with it Tuesday. We'll talk about it on the live stream on Saturday. And then that week will be GoPro videos that I am super excited to make. And then what's after that? I don't know yet what's after that. So here's something that I was thinking about doing. And since we got a sizable crew with us tonight, so I was thinking about making videos I've kind of slipped into the habit of just making like product review videos, which is not necessarily, I mean, I like making them. I love talking gear, so there's some of my favorite videos to make. But what about like, I've been thinking about like a how I do it like series. So instead of like, hey, so the thing that I try to do, or that I'm doing now is, I think I'm doing now, is I'm trying to like show people show you that you can make YouTube videos, and I'm hoping that you'll like see what I do and like reverse engineer it. But maybe I could make like a bit more of a directed video, like, hey, how I shoot my B-roll, or hey, how I do this, or how I do that, or how I do this. Would you guys be like interested in like a how-to like YouTube series of like, hey, here's how you can do product B-roll, because it's kind of important if you want to do like a tech-based channel. Hey, here's how you can do lighting and make sure your exposure's correct-ish. We're kind of correct tonight. We're mostly correct. How to get the best out of your camera. I used to only keep my camera in the auto setting. It's always in manual now, because I use a camera every day for 2 years. You know, you pick up some things like, what are lenses, what are this, what is that. So let me know if you guys would be interested in that. I'm kind of leaning that way. You know, I still want to make, I mean, product reviews, they bring in the views, which is great. I like bringing in views. But I've been thinking about being a little more directed in videos. Let me know what you guys think. We'll figure it out. Oh, and if you're just joining the stream now, so we're considering doing something else with these gross green chairs that you can't even see now. But I'm thinking about getting a couch. So I think we're gonna have a contest. Maybe not starting today, but we'll do like a super chat off to see like who can raise the most. Like, will it be the will it be the get rid of the chairs super chats that win, or the get new chairs super chats that win? And we'll do something cool where, I don't know, we'll think of something cool to do for it. Because again, I could just go out and buy a couch, but like I think it would be more fun to do like something like that where we all like compete against it. I think that would be cool. I think that'd be awesome. Steve Mack, I'm new to everything. Look, I'm new to everything too, man. Or I was. I guess I'm not anymore. Yeah, I started this. I didn't know a darn thing about cameras. I used my wife's like 5-year-old Nikon D5100. I had no idea. I had it in auto. I did nothing with it. The videos were terrible. But you learn and you just keep doing it. Like, this is not the product of me just knowing what I'm doing. This is the product, and my videos are the products of me beating my head against a wall for not 2 years, like a year and a half, and like slowly figuring out what I like, how I like to do things. So here's the secret, and I get really irritated when people are like, oh, this person's not being totally, you're not totally like new. You're not bringing something completely new to the table. So what are you doing? Like, I get comments every now and again of like, hey, he thinks he's Peter McKinnon because he says the phrase, hey, what's up? Because only Peter McKinnon can say what's up. Now, I'm sure Peter McKinnon's a great guy, and I'm sure he's never even heard of the Everyday Dad. But like, nothing on the internet, and certainly nothing on YouTube, is truly unique. Nothing is unique. We're all borrowing, or we're all inspired, or we all stand on the shoulders of giants, and that's okay. Like, it's okay if you watch my videos and you're like, I love how the Everyday Dad does that. I want to make my videos like that. Now, don't just copy my videos. That's not the right way to go about it, but say, hey, I like how he did this shot. I wonder how I could do it. And then you figuring that process out will give you your own way on how you want to do it. So it becomes like your spin on things. And then we should all be able to, like, if you look at the quality of content on YouTube, it goes up over time just because we all like learn off of each other. We all just keep going up and up and up and up. So you should be able to stand on my shoulders and do better than me. And then it just should keep getting better. And, nope, hold on. Jonathan Maxwell, $2, no couch, keep the chairs. We haven't started yet. We'll probably we'll get like a whiteboard or something. We'll tally it up, and then maybe we'll do it like over the course of a month or something, or maybe not that long, because like I want the everyday mom back up here with me, because I can't fit both chairs here, but I can fit like a small love seat. But thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate it. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, you just like, nothing's wholly unique. Like, nothing on the internet is brand new. And when stuff is brand new and it's enjoyable to watch, it blows up and becomes like huge overnight mega hits until everybody starts copying it. So there's very little unique stuff, and nothing unique stays unique. You just have to be able to find like your way to do it. Like, anybody could watch a camera video, or anybody could watch any videos about the stuff I talk about. And people do, and that's totally great. I watch videos so I won't watch a video of a product until I've made a video about it, because I don't like being like you'll see something, you'll like unconsciously be biased by it. So I try to like, that's one of the ways that I try to at least keep myself fresh. But you'll figure it out. Like, you just gotta keep going. You just gotta keep going for it. That'd be awesome. I love your live streams as well. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Like, the things that I enjoy doing most is I really enjoy the live streams. Like, the live streams are some of my favorite things to do on this channel. I love interacting. Like, I mean, yeah, we interact like on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, like I'd have to say, like, so I like making the videos. I don't necessarily like YouTube that much. I like making videos. If there was another platform for like uploading that was as popular as YouTube, I'd probably use that other platform. But I really like Twitter because it's like such an immediate, like, and I love GIFs. Like, I send GIFs all the time. Like, if I could talk in GIFs, I probably would talk in GIFs and emojis. But no, if you want to interact with me, Twitter's the best way to do that. But so I like these live streams because it gives me a shot to like interact with everybody. We get to chat, have some back and forth. We bring guests on from time to time. Like, Travis was in our live stream last week. It was awesome to have him. And I just like chatting with people. They're not like huge view drivers. They're not like huge, like, but I don't want them to be. Like, if we had like 1,000 people watching right now, like, how am I supposed to interact with you guys? Like, I like that it's just a chance to hang out. Like, that's the whole That's the whole point of it. Can you review Nikon cameras? That's what I own, the Nikon D5300. Well, the problem is that like Nikon, until the Z series doesn't, I mean, it's really not great for video. Like I've got to see this one. I think I read somewhere that it has continuous autofocus in video, and it uses their whatever system, their live 3D tracking focus system. I don't know, but I'm gonna try that out. I've never really, I used, like I said, I used a Nikon camera a long time ago, but I'm excited to try this one out. I'm really excited for the Z6. That's the camera I'm most excited about besides the X-T3. Excuse me. How to would be great. All right, yeah. We'll definitely look into that. We just got to balance. Because I'm bringing like somebody on board here pretty soon. Hopefully in the next week or two, we'll have an editor doing all the editing here soon, which I am very excited for. But so we kind of got to balance like traffic versus like how tos. But that's what I want to do is like the whole point of the channel is to teach, like to show people like through me doing it. Or like through like directed videos, like, look, seriously, I'm not that smart. I have no inherent like knowledge of cameras. I only started using cameras when I started doing YouTube. So it's not like I've been a videographer like all my life and I'm just translating that to YouTube. No, this is stuff that I have just learned from doing. And yeah, maybe we'll start that. I'm pretty excited. Maybe that'll be like something the new editor will be able to like make interesting, because I have no idea how to make that stuff interesting. I'm not a very good editor. Like my edits are very like, they're very forceful, and I'd like somebody that's more like what was this, like The Office? Like it's like an Office quote where football is like rock, where it's just like brr, 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 but basketball is more like jazz. I'm more of a brr, brr, brr editor where I just cut, and it's very blocky. I'd like a jazz player to kind of like smooth out my edits a little more. Oklahoma Drone, I just wish I had more money for better equipment. Like equipment's not like the most important thing. Like when you become a camera nerd and it becomes your hobby, yeah, you'll get stupid expensive. Like I still don't understand why I have this stupid expensive stuff. Like this is not something you necessarily need to strive for, to have an expensive camera, a way too expensive computer, all this crap. Like this is just like crap. I wish I could make videos without all this crap, and there are people out there that do. And maybe that's something else I could do, is like, hey, make a video with just a cell phone and just make like a whole like camera video, like a whole product video with only a cell phone, because it can be done. But yeah, you don't need all this junk to make videos. You just need an idea and a cell phone. That's all you need. If you would like, slightly better, like I said, technical image quality is not the most important part in any way, shape, or form. Technical image quality is good, but it is not required. 140p from the bathroom. Imagine people watching your video that way. Like when I watch YouTube in like 360p. Like no kidding. I shoot everything in 4K, I edit in 4K, I upload in 4K. But when I watch YouTube from my iPhone 7 Plus, I watch it in 360p. Like no kidding. So technical image quality, not that important. So just go out and start making content. Like expensive equipment is fun, it's cool to have, but it doesn't make your content better. It does not make your content better at all in any way, shape, or form. The grumpy vlogger, I love the love seat ideas. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do that way. We'll have to do that. I think it's gonna be great. Hold on, I'm working my way through the comments. Technoman, I see you heading out. Thanks for joining us. Christina Maxwell, dang it, now I'm gonna have to save up my allowance to hashtag save the chairs. Yeah, that's what, maybe we'll do like a hashtag or something. And it'll be great. Matt MPG, dude, you're my go-to for gear reviews. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Oklahoma Droner, I think as far as cinematic use of a camera goes, to Trent Palmer's channel. I've never heard of him, but maybe I'll have to check it out. Carlos Jamalin, GoPro 7 or you with cheap gimbal? I don't know, man. I haven't used the GoPro 7 yet. We'll have to see. If this stabilization is good as everybody says it is, I still haven't watched a video about it. But Travis McPee is like, he's like poking me. He's like, he knows I haven't seen a video, but he's like, hey, dude, it's good. Hey, man, it's good. Hey, Gary, it's good. So I don't know. When I get it this week, I'll try it out and I'll definitely let you know. Coach, what's up, man? Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm really slow at the chat, so hopefully you're still here when I said it. Want to borrow a reciprocating saw? That would be a great video. Carlos Jamalin, IGTV. I'm not on it. Like, so one of the things when you start making online content is one of the decisions that you need to make, And if you don't make it, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. Is you need to decide where you're going to spend your time, but more importantly, or almost as important, if not as important, is you need to know where you're not going to spend your time. Because if you're a solo dude like me, you got a full-time job, almost more than a full-time job, you do YouTube, you got a family, you want to spend time with them, and you don't just want to be trapped in your office dungeon all day long. You can't do everything. You just can't. Until you build up like a team, then maybe you can do everything. But until then, you got to pick where you're going to play. I play in YouTube and Twitter, sometimes Instagram. If I make like a teaser for a video, I'll put it on Instagram. That's it. I have decided I'm not going to do IGTV. I'm not going to do all this other crazy stuff that people do. And I am just cautious when new stuff comes out because everybody's like, this is what you have to do or you will fail. Okay. I'm not really. So I also have the benefit of we have met the channel is at success. Like we got exactly where I wanted to get. Like this, if the channel did this forever, like we would win. Like it's just like the whole point of the channel was I like talking about all this gear. And now now the largest camera distributor, like one of the largest camera distributors in the world, loves my content and they send me stuff to check out. So I get to do all that and I get paid so I can like hire people and I can get like stuff to make my life easier to create for it. This is the dream. So if the channel I don't want it to stagnate, but if it were to even stagnate, okay, I've succeeded. I don't have there's not like the stress on me of always having to grow. So and people keep asking me, and I've actually, a lot of this has been coming up recently as the channel gets bigger and as brands start reaching out and like as bigger creators start seeing it. The question I keep getting asked is, when are you going full time? And I don't know that I would ever go full time because like this is fun now. I'm having fun right now. I'm having fun like chatting with you guys, and I have fun making videos, and I have fun making all of this content is fun. The second that like my family needs it to eat, then it's not fun. Then I have to be like, hey guys, I haven't seen a super chat in like 5 minutes. We'd like to not just have ramen noodles for dinner tomorrow night. I need to pay for healthcare. Like, no offense to people that do it full time. Like, that's awesome. If you can do what you love full time, do it. Like, I don't judge anybody for what their hustle is. However you feed your family, as long as it's not illegal, immoral, or unethical. However you feed your family, feed your family. But like the second it stops, like the second it becomes like how I clothe, shelter, and feed like my kid and my wife, that's when I don't know. I feel like the fun would be taken out. So a bit of a backstory, and we're going over time right now, I know, but I'm just having a good time chatting with you guys. A bit of a backstory is I used to be a big gym nut. Like I used to spend hours in the gym every day. I was trying to be not a professional, but like an amateur power lifter. I spent so much time in the gym, and I was like, I spend all my time in the gym. Why not be a personal trainer and get paid to be in the gym? If you're going to be in there anyway, why not make money at it? So I spent like a month. I studied up to be certified as a personal trainer, passed the certification, certified personal trainer, Gary, ready to go, have fun in the gym, get paid to do it. And it was the worst experience of my life. I don't even go to the gym anymore. I lasted 1 month as a personal trainer and I left. It had nothing to do with the people were great, but like if you're a personal trainer working for a gym, it's terrible. You're a salesman, you're not a trainer. So I hated it so much. I never go to the gym now. I'm a runner now. I run a lot. But yeah. So like I'm hesitant to make like the thing I like a job as opposed to a hobby. Man, I wonder how many comments I've missed since that. Seriously, I'm shocking that Netflix doesn't have that. I've been watching YouTube horror movies. I don't know what that is. Photo gear fun. I've tried how-tos or educational videos on my channel. You're right, they don't get as many views as product reviews. Sad but true. Yeah, you gotta know. Some people are how-to channels and they grow that way. Like YouTube really puts you in a box. Like once they're like, okay, this channel talks about this stuff, we will only recommend his content or her content. We will only recommend their content against other channels like that. Once you get put in that box, it's hard to break out of that box. Like when I stopped talking about drones as much, you could definitely see a downward trend in my analytics. But again, I've already reached success, so maybe it's time to start branching out into stuff. Maybe it's time to start branching out into stuff. Freddie Causeway, I use Final Cut Pro X. That is my editing program of choice. People talking about wives, awesome. I definitely love my wife. S Whiskey, I'd shoot my videos with my phone too, but I own a cool camera, so dilemma. I mean, use whatever you want. Like for me, online content is not about technical image quality. It's about audio and ease of workflow. And people get so mad at me in the comments for that. Okay, it's my video. I get to talk about whatever I want. You don't like it, you don't have to watch it. But audio, ease of workflow, that is what is most important to me. Jeblo Maximus, thanks for the response. I'm debating whether to get the GH5 and the Sigma 18-35. Do you think this would do the job for YouTube video and video blog? You would not use the 18-35 for a vlog, unless you are, like, if you are stacked, you'll use the 18-35 is a huge lens. I had one for a while. It's a beautiful lens, has an awesome image, but the autofocus is going to suck with the GH5, even more so than like the normal lenses, because you're going to be talking through an adapter, whether that's a Viltrox, Metabones, whatever adapter, Kippen, whatever adapter you use, it's going to be bad. And that lens is going to be heavy. I mean, it's a big lens. It's like a full frame lens. Awesome lens. I've considered getting one for my GH5 until they announced this, the 10-25. I wouldn't vlog with it. I would not vlog with it. If you can, that would be awesome. Burzen Bill Mora, what do you mean? Why not the Fuji X-T3? I love the Fuji X-T3. Rick Halber, final thoughts on the E4K Plus. I can't have final thoughts on it yet because the GoPro Hero 7's out now. Like I had the E4K Plus against the GoPro Hero 6. I would personally choose the GoPro Hero 6 because stabilization is very important to me. If stabilization is not important to you, I would go with the E4K Plus over the GoPro. But now that the Hero 7's out, that changes a lot because, think about it. One of the notions of cameras in general is using it by itself is almost never, you're never going to be able to do that as much as you want. You'll need a gimbal, you'll need a tripod, you'll need something. But if they can get legitimate stabilization in a camera, that might replace my GH5 outside. Like if it's good, if it's good enough technical, like I said, good enough technical image quality, and it's got that stabilization, I may just 100% switch straight to it for my outdoor stuff. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about it. Very, very excited about it. At Matt MPG, I feel that IGTV is a fad. I mean, it may be or it may not be. It may stick around forever. Even if IGTV were to blow up, I still have made my choice. YouTube and Twitter. You have to pick where you're going to play and where you're not going to play. For video, I will do YouTube. For interacting with people and just chatting and having a good time and making funny GIFs, I could go to Reddit or I could go to Twitter. I choose Twitter. Instagram, I should put more effort into Instagram. I should absolutely do that. It will help me grow faster as a brand. But I'm not going to because I don't want to spend that time. My time, the most valuable resource we have as people, and it didn't really start dawning on me till I got into my mid-30s, time. When I was younger, who cares about time? I'll trade time for stuff if I'm putting my time into something, it needs to be important. I'm giving time right now to chat with you guys because this chatting with you guys is more important than my time. But it's a valuable use of my time chatting with you guys because I enjoy it so much. If I didn't enjoy it, I would not do it because my time is very, very valuable to me. Very valuable to me. Yeah, Twitter and Facebook, Cardoso Media. Facebook's a waste of time. I don't know that it's a waste of time. People talk about how it's the best targeted ads ever. But Facebook that I see has kind of turned into just a cesspool. I don't like Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook. I have a personal Facebook and we have the page Facebook channel. I haven't been on my personal Facebook in years, which upsets the everyday mom because the everyday mom is on Facebook all the time. And that's not a bad thing, but the things that I see on Facebook are not, I don't want anything of my brand I don't want people to think the everyday dad and the toxicity of Facebook. Twitter's a toxic place, dude. Everything can be toxic, but I've seen the toxicity of Facebook's in your face all the time, and I just don't feel like doing that. Chris Sullivan, you're already full-time without knowing it? Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy with what we do. Cardoso Media, I just do it for fun. 100%. 100%. Mark Ritardo, I barely use Twitter, but have wondered what strategy would you use to build a following. You find out, you let me know. I don't really do any strategies to get people to follow me. It's been slowly building faster because I don't understand Twitter people that don't follow people that they have like 1 million followers and like they follow 10 people. Like, how is that fun with Twitter? Like, in my mind, Twitter's cool because I can scroll through and see what everybody's up to. I can be like, hey, that looks like a cool thing, or I can be like, respond with this funny GIF, and it's a conversation. It's not. I don't know. I don't want to be talked at. I want to talk with. So I don't know how to grow a following on Twitter. I'm just having fun with it. I don't know at all. What type of camera? We're using a GH5 right now for the camera. Hold on, yep, hobbies. Oh wow, we were like, so we'll do 5 more minutes and then we will call it for night. We are way past what we normally do. We normally do an hour, so we'll go 5 more minutes and we'll call it a day. Swisky Rhetorical, are you excited for the GH5 firmware update? Meh. I refuse to trust the autofocus in the GH5, so making it better just is a feature that I will not use. So if they like firmware updates and phase detection autofocus, I'd be way happier about it. Owen Cameron, have you considered switching to Premiere Pro? I've tried switching away from Final Cut Pro X. I've tried Premiere, I've tried Resolve, but I know Final Cut Pro X. I'm comfortable with Final Cut Pro X. I'm like an old man that just refused to learn a new trick because I've tried. And it's just not, like, it is not worth the hassle. Like, I hate editing. So I hate editing, and things that make editing harder, I don't do. So when, like, I'm sitting there and I'm editing with Resolve, because Resolve is the last one I tried, like, 6 months ago. Because I was like, oh, the Blackmagic's going to come with the nice version of Resolve. We got to get used to it. I tried it. I hated it. Hated it. A family of 5, the everyday dad, where do you get time to do 3 videos a week and having a full-time job? What time do you film your videos? So my workflow is Sunday. I take a significant chunk of Sundays. Sunday's kind of like my YouTube day. I'll do the 3 scripts on Sunday. I'll film as much B-roll as humanly possible that I can on Sunday, and I will make the Monday video on Sunday. Then throughout the week, the Monday video comes out. As that video's out, I'm doing the Wednesday video narrative talking head. I'll do the recording, the narrative work on the Wednesday video. I'll do the rough cut and the rough edit on Monday. Then on Tuesday, I'll do the fine cut. I'll add in the B-roll. I'll publish it I'll upload it on Tuesday so it goes on Wednesday. When the Wednesday video comes out, I start doing the same thing for Friday, and then it just works there. You just gotta ease a workflow. You gotta have a workflow that works, and then you just keep cranking it out. That's what works for me. When I was doing daily stuff, it was we almost got a bomb dropped right there. I don't know how people do daily stuff. Like I did 46 days daily, and it was 46 days of editing for hours a day. I hated it. I don't know. I hated it. It's terrible. I use an iPhone 8 Plus and DJI Spark. Simple, very good. Absolutely. Tanglefoot Ranch, what do you think is the best drone? Spark does not count. I mean, how can it not count? I like the Mavic Air the best. Excuse me. I mean, technical video quality, like the Inspire 2, the best portable drone for image quality, the Mavic 2 Pro. But for price and value and feature specs, like the nexus of all 3 of those, I think the Mavic Air is the best. But the Spark is still amazing. Definitely still amazing. I can't wait to get the Hero 7. Yeah, me either. Okay, shout out Tanglefoot Ranch. Okay, what do we got? Switch flip. I'm a young free skiing filmmaker, and I'm thinking of buying my first camera other than a GoPro. Do you think the XT3 would be a good option? Yeah, I mean, I think the XT3 is a phenomenal camera. Like, the XT3 is amazing. But if it's your first camera, I mean, it's great, but if it's your first camera, I'd say maybe get something a little lower on the ladder, because you got to find out if this is even something you like. So I always recommend people start out with, if you're talking about YouTube. Now, if you're talking about professional filmmaking, I can't really help you with that. I think the XT3 is a fantastic camera. I think the XT3 is amazing. If that's like, this is what you have to do, I would say if it's your first camera, maybe invest in something a little bit farther down the chain so you can get like better lighting, better audio, stuff like that. If your budget is this amount, you should not spend this amount on a camera. There's other stuff that you got to get to make the whole thing work. But I would say the XT3 is amazing. What was I saying next? But yeah, that's why I recommend people start with their phone and then just decide if you like it. Thanks for coming out, Lloyd. Again, happy birthday, man. I really appreciate it. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for coming out. Yep, we definitely went a little bit over, but yeah, hey, thanks for joining us. We will catch you next week. And next week we'll have like the plan for the hashtag save the chairs, hashtag replace the chairs. Maybe that's what it'll end up being. But thanks everybody for watching and joining us for the Pillars of Action. Action. Have a great weekend. Have a great night. I will see you guys next Saturday.